made of 24-karat gold. Because the gold is inside the currency itself, it holds real value and naturally resists inflation.
So they're not just for collecting, you can actually spend them?
That's right. There are businesses right here in Florida that accept them as payment, just like cash. They're designed to keep wealth local, support independent businesses, and give you the freedom to use sound money.
That's amazing. And I heard you're giving these away for free. Is that true?
Yes. To celebrate the launch of the Florida Goldback, we're giving away free half Goldbacks to Florida residents. All you have to do is visit freegoldback.com, verify your Florida address, and we'll ship it to your home. No fees, no gimmicks.
Real gold, completely free. That's incredible. Florida, don't miss out. Visit freegoldback.com today to claim your free half Goldback before they're gone.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
At Rocket, we believe everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. So if you're feeling locked out of home ownership, we're here to give you back the keys. We're opening doors, breaking down walls, and doing everything we can to turn renters into owners. And we're not going to stop until we help everyone home. To find out more, visit rocket.com. Rocket, own the dream.
Get your revenge body by summer with Future Health.
Future Health weight loss.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Number 1 on your car radio preset and the new and improved iHeartRadio app. WINCA in Miami, WMIB FM HD2 Fort Lauderdale. Free never sounded so good. Now, your chance to win $1,000 in bonus bucks. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Cash. Cash. That's cash. Enter it now. FoxSports940.com. Broadcasting live from the Fox Sports 940 Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Call 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
1-0 pitch. Stowers cracks that one out to center and deep. Siri is back. He looks up and it's gone. The Marlins waste no time. Kyle Stowers with a 2-run shot, and they take a 2-0 lead in the first.
Miami Marlins baseball is on deck.
2-1. That kicks away from Rodriguez. Hill breaks for the plate. There will be no throw. And on a wild pitch, the Marlins walk it off again. 1-2. Conine lifts out to left field. Tommy Pham working back to the warning track. So is Sawinski. They look up and it's gone. Griffin Conine to left center. And we're tied at 2 in the 7th.
Marlins on deck. Brought to you by ADT, the official smart security partner of the Miami Marlins, and Norwegian Cruise Line. Experience more at sea. Let's head out to the ballpark. Here's your host, Steven Strong.
Well, nice job, Ricardo. Welcome from Lone Depot Park on an 80-degree Tuesday night. The roof and walls are open again, and we're ready to bring you some baseball on a prestigious day in sports history, Jackie Robinson Day. All players and coaching staff will continue tradition of wearing Robinson's number 42 during tonight's game, with each team using a Dodger blue 42 regardless of the club's normal colors. You're listening to Miami Marlins baseball on the radio. It's game 16 of 162, and the Marlins will continue this 6-game homestand, and they will cut it in half tonight with the hopes of keeping whatever they did offensively in their last series into this one after playing 22 runs across 3 games. Tonight, we bring you game 1 of this 3-game set between the 9-7 Arizona Diamondbacks and your 8-7 Miami Marlins. 36-year-old right-hander veteran Merrill Kelly gets the nod for the 4th time this season after tossing a quality start against Baltimore last Tuesday. Kelly will go opposite Connor Gillespie, the 27-year-old right-hander from Virginia, who is set to make his 4th start of 2025. It all starts at 6:40 right here on the Marlins Radio Network. What's going on, everyone? Thanks for making Marlins on Deck a part of your Tuesday night with Jack McMullen and 4-time World Series champion Jeff Nelson. I'm Steven Strom. Got a good show for you ahead. We'll talk about where both teams are at. Coming into Tuesday night, Clayton McCullough joins us for every game one of each series. We'll get you at the count with Merrill Kelly and Connor Gillespie. Plus, we do have some roster moves. We'll discuss that in a couple minutes, and also with Jack and Nelly. Our Expo question of the day at Marlins Radio and Steve's guarantee to victory. So let's talk about where both teams are at. We'll begin with the visitors, the Arizona Diamondbacks. And the Snakes, they've rode this up and down roller coaster similar to Miami through 16 games. They're 2 games over, but their offense has been steady. 4th in runs per game at 5-ish, 7th in team batting average, number 1 in the league in team doubles, and number 2 in walks per game. One guy in particular that's having an awesome start to his season is Corbin Carroll. He's looking like the Corbin Carroll from his rookie year. He really struggled in his sophomore year last year in 24. Now he's hitting .333, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs with an 1,100 OPS. Only Kyle Tucker has more extra base hits than Carroll with 12. Another addition, Josh Naylor. He's fit the bill after being traded to Arizona in December. He's batting .322 with 6 doubles. Now the pitching, another thing, up and down for Arizona. Arizona's given up the 9th most home runs per game, and their team ERA is 10th worst in baseball. For the Marlins, if you liked hitting, man, last weekend must have been a dream for you. The Marlins plated what was at the time on Saturday a season-high 7 runs. Then they followed up on Sunday with an 11-run barrage that sent the Nationals home packing, losing 2 out of 3. It's been Matt Mervis, who's homered 5 times in 6 games. It's been Kyle Stowers. He's hitting .316. Griffin Conine was 5 for 8 with 4 RBIs in the weekend series versus Washington. And all in all, to be completely frank with you, they didn't get quality starting pitching from Sandy Alcantara and Cal Quantrill. After 15 games, the Marlins are a game over 500, and they have this look, they have this feel to a team that you don't really want to play. And it's not because of the names on the back of the jersey, but it's because of the style. There's no easy outs. Miami's aggressive, sometimes to a fault, but they've formulated a formula and a blueprint to win ball games with a bullpen that on any given night can give Clayton McCullough 2+ innings. The offense, they're 7th in the league in hits per game. They're 8th in batting average at .253, and they're 8th in home runs with 14. Miami tonight will look to reach a high on the season with 3 in a row if they can defeat the Arizona Diamondbacks here tonight. Let's break. We'll have Clayton McCullough, Marlins manager. He'll talk about Game 1 and preview all of it and the roster moves right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
At Lone Depot, we're big on home. Home games.
10 for his last 28. That's .357. And he's 2 for 3 today. Stowers rips one. That is a fair ball down the first base line. Paulie in to score. X right behind him. Kyle Stowers going line hunting tonight. After a triple last inning, he's got a 2-run double. And it's 4-0 Marlins in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, Parker was cruising through the first 4 innings to second base.
And the 0-1 pitch from Parker. That one ripped over the jumping glove of Bell. That's down the right field line for a base hit. It rolls to the wall. Cruz going to pick it up off the wall. Stowers chugging for third, and there will be no throw. Kyle Stowers with a stand-up leadoff triple. And the homer day in Atlanta on Saturday. 0-2 pitch. That one hit well. Out to right field. Cole is back, and it's gone. It's not a road thing anymore. Welcome home, Matt Mervis. His 4th homer of the year, and the Marlins up 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Next pitch. Conine launches out to right field. Cole on his horse, back into the alleyway, and that one hops the wall. 2 runs come in to score. Conine swaps places with Wagaman, and he's got a 2-run double. It's 6-3 Marlins in the 5th. 2-2 pitch. Stowers hits that one well. Out to left center field. Jacob Young working back. Track. Wall. That's off the base of the wall. Stowers pulls into second base. X comes in to score. And another run for the Marlins with 2 men out. It's an RBI double for Kyle. 7-4.
Wrong. But with ADT's 24/7 professional monitoring, you still do. When every second counts, count on ADT. Go to ADT.com/Marlins or call 800-750-0647 today. For license information, visit ADT.com.
Take the Marlins wherever you go. Download the iHeartRadio app and make Fox Sports 940 the top preset to listen to every Marlins game. What's going on this Tuesday night? Marlins playing really good baseball. Took 2 out of 3 against Washington. They settle in and will finish off this homestand. First of 3 with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Connor Gillespie will go opposite Merrill Kelly. Steven Strom, Jeff Nelson, Jack McMullen, thanks for hanging out with us again on a Tuesday night. And as always, earlier today, I had a chance to sit down with the headman, Clayton McCullough, on the series at hand, the roster moves, plus a vital day in sports history.
All right, Clayton, this is not only an important day in baseball, it's an important day in life. Jackie Robinson Day, when you go to your locker, you see 42. What does that signify?
I mean, the thing about Jackie, the courage it took, the bravery that he, had to show and endure is almost unimaginable to think that, what he probably had to go through, not only, playing in the major leagues, but doing it under the circumstances that he did. And I'm sure all of the, comments and rhetoric that he had to take on and how he just kept his chin up and was a real positive light for society and then also for our sport. So for us to be able to, continue to pay tribute to his legacy each day, throughout our sport is a really great thing that Major League Baseball has done, and feel, incredibly honored and proud to be able to, put on 42 tonight.
Beautifully said. Your team now opens up a 3-game set with the Arizona Diamondbacks. You're going for 3 straight. You made some roster moves. We'll start here with Jonah Bride. What went into that decision to DFA him?
Yeah, I mean, with Sanchi coming back, unfortunately, we had to make a move, and, it was difficult with going with Jonah. What he means to the guys in that clubhouse, our coaching staff. He's an ultimate professional. He was going through it, and so it made it difficult when someone is put as much into it as Jonah had, and the success that he had here last year. Felt like there are guys that were making the decision between that they were at this point at least playing performing better and deserving of continued opportunity and continued run. So that's why made the decision for it to be Jonah at this time.
Your corresponding move is adding Jesus Sanchez to this really hot offense. 7 runs in Game 2 against Washington, a season-high 11 in Game 3. What can he add to this lineup?
I think one of these things great. He's a presence. He's had success, especially a lot of success versus right at the major league level. So to be able to put Sanchez in there, lengthen out the lineup some. Kyle's been swinging it great. Mervis has. Wagaman had a big day the other day. X has been doing his thing. So now you got a chance to just add another. We feel like is a potent offensive weapon into the lineup, spread things out. We hope like it's a big boon for us to be able to insert him, back in there.
And let me ask you this, Clay. Kyle Stowers is crushing the ball really in that 2 spot. I guess these are first-class problems, but what went into putting Sanchez in the 2 spot tonight?
I think it's just like we coming into this thing, thinking about Sanchez, especially versus right. And I think, historically the type of success he's had there and, type of, kind of slug he has the potential for to have Sanchi in the 2 and, move Stowers down a little bit to give us, it's nice now. You got, again, you start to lengthen that thing out there, and you got, Stowers hopefully continues to swing the way he has and put together those kind of at-bats in the middle of the lineup now just to, kind of pass the baton to those guys back behind him. So I think it was just much like kind of coming into this, looking at Sanchez, if we were coming out of spring training day 1 and he had been healthy like that, the spot would have slotted him in that spot, I think, versus right, feeling like, he's, historically been a very good performer, versus right, and just think it made sense to get him right back up there, coming into today.
All right, let's get to the matchup on the mound. Merrill Kelly, Connor Gillespie. What do you think is next for Connor for start number 4 for him?
I think it's going to hopefully he continue just to pound it early like he has. I think when Connor he's striking with his breaking ball. He's got a lot of confidence in his secondary stuff, and then be able to use the fastball appropriately and allow it to play in certain parts of the strike zone that it can. So I think looking at the last couple, the secondary has been really good. I think even him would be like, probably need to get a little bit more out of my fastball, command it a little better, at least get it in an area where the hitters have to make more of a decision on it. There's just been kind of some that's like, more ball out of hand. So I know it's something he's been putting some focus on, and, to be able to utilize, that pitch to keep hitters honest and keep them off some of the secondary.
And the last one for you, just from the injury updates, Connor Norby, Declan Cronin, can you walk us through where those guys are at?
Connor he's scheduled to play 7 innings tonight in I think Jacksonville's in Memphis. So kind of, building up, taking the next step there. He's been all signs have been good so far, reports back. So with Connor, we'll just see how he comes out of tonight, getting more of extended innings and at bats. And Declan threw back-to-back this weekend. Get a few days off, scheduled to throw 2 innings tomorrow, which had to help get the pitch count built up some. If and when Declan comes back up here, you need for multiple innings, that being a possibility. So I think with both, as they continue each day along these rehab progressions, it's as much just kind of reading some of how they're bouncing back, how they're feeling after that helps guide us kind of to the next steps.
Go get him tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for having me, Stephen.
All right, excellent stuff right there with Clayton McCullough and what he's referring to as far as Jesus Sanchez and why they're throwing him back in that 2 spot is because of historically what Sanchez has done against right-handers. 276, 15 home runs, 57 RBIs, and Merrill Kelly has struggled against left-handed batters as well. So Jesus Sanchez activated, Jonah Bride DFA'd. Bride was 4 for 40 to start the year, really struggled, batted 100, and the Marlins needed to make a move, and unfortunately it was Jonah Bride. So if no team picks him up, he'll be outrighted to Jacksonville. We shall see over the next couple of days. Let's break here. We'll get our matchup on the mound, get you ahead of the count. Merrill Kelly and Connor Gillespie, 6:40 first pitch, back in 2 minutes on the Marlins Radio Network.
Defensive back or a receiver.
3-2 pitch. Bride with a little bouncer. Gore picks it up down the third base line. He dives to try and swipe a tag, but Stowers head by him. 1-2 pitch. Shinohawk rounds that one up the middle. That's through for a base hit. Wagaman comes in to score, and Javier Shinoha knots the game at 3. An RBI single. And the Marlins are cooking again with 2 outs.
Well, another short, compact swing on a curveball from the Nationals. Pitched around Mervis on a couple occasions.
0-1 pitch is hammered out to center. Young is back. Track wall. It is gone. Matt Mervis, a 3-run pinch hit homer. And the Marlins are up 7-3.
How they're missing calls when they're set up over the shoulder.
2-2 pitch is lofted into shallow center field. Young sprinting in. Young dives, and he can't get it. You got Hicks around third. He's getting the run around home. Everybody up a base. The throw in into second, and Liam Hicks comes in to score. That'll be an RBI double for Otto Lopez. Edwards goes first to third, and Hicks scores from second on a ball that just got past the diving center fielder Jacob Young. His way into trouble, and Lopez doubles in a run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's 8-3, and Kyle Stowers powers one out to right center field. That splits the gap, and one hops the wall. 2 runs coming to score, and Kyle rips one out to right center field. 110 off the bat, and it's a 2-run double to make it 10-3 Marlins.
And I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
Hey, this is Ryan Weathers, and you're listening to Marlins on Deck with Stephen Strom on the Marlins Radio Network.
Well, Ryan Weathers threw again, so I guess we'll see what it looks like for him as far as a rehab assignment. Game 1 of this 3-game set between the Marlins and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Marlins took 2 out of 3 over the weekend. Big offensive output for the Fish. Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, and Jeff Nelson have your call at 6:40. Let's get you ahead of the count. We'll start here with Merrill Kelly, 36-year-old right-hander from Houston, Texas. He'll make his 4th start of the season. Now, he comes in tonight with a 2-run record, a 7 ERA. Now, that ERA is skewed, and I'll tell you why. His start against the Yankees was a nightmare one. 3 2/3, 9 hits, 9 runs, 3 home runs. The other 2 against the Cubs, 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, and his latest one against Baltimore, 6 innings, 3 runs, his first quality start of 2025. Kelly had his 2024 cut short. He had a major muscle strain in his shoulder. He made just 13 starts in 73 2/3 innings pitched. He had back-to-back years of making 30-plus before that. Career-wise against Miami, 0-2, a 6.56 ERA, 4 starts, 23 1/3. The thing to look at with Merrill Kelly tonight is his command. Right now, and it's very small sample size, a 12.9% walk rate. The league average is 8.5. That's something the Marlins have done a really good job of this year. The plate discipline, making pitchers get into 3-2 counts, getting walks, just tiring out the starter. We'll see if Miami can do that here tonight against Merrill Kelly. Kelly will go opposite Connor Gillespie, 27-year-old right-hander, who's quietly put together multiple solid starts. If you're looking for length, that's probably not the stat you're looking for with Connor Gillespie, but he's given his team a chance to win. He'll make his first start in his career against the Arizona Diamondbacks. His last one against New York, it didn't start well. He gave up that leadoff home run to Francisco Lindor, but then he retired 8 of his next 9. He's 0-1 on the season with a 3.86 ERA over 14 frames across 3 starts. Miami's lost each of his 3 starts, but there is a caveat. The Marlins have committed 7 of their club's 10 total errors this season, while Gillespie has pitched. So we'll see if the defense can be a little bit more tidy behind Connor Gillespie. And the final thing, we talked about the walks with Merrill Kelly. Connor Gillespie has done a really nice job not giving up free passes. He's a guy that does not scare. He surrendered just 1 walk over the last 2 starts. He's going to throw strikes. He's going to force Arizona to put the ball in play, which Arizona does very well. They don't strike out, and they walk a lot. So it's going to be an interesting match. It's a really interesting early matchup for both these teams. Very similar past. They've had some walk-off and some comeback wins. Their offense is clicking on both sides. So it'll be interesting to see how it fares tonight in Game 1 of this 3-game set. Let's break. We got a lot to talk about. It's Jackie Robinson Day. We'll talk the DFA move of Jonah Bride. Jesus Sanchez back in the lineup and activated. He will play center and bat second. Stick with us. Marlins, Diamondbacks, 6:40 first pitch right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
Outdoor video board, Las Vegas. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Line drive, left field. Will it stay up? Conine diving in the backhand. Did he catch it? He did. What a catch by Conine in left field. On the backhand, saves a run, and the Marlins get out of the inning. Wow. What a play by Griff.
Has it first. And the 1-1 from Holmes to Hicks. That one is peeled down the left field line. That's in for a base hit. Edwards comes in to score, and Conine right behind him. Nimmo picks it up and fires it in, but Liam Hicks peels a 2-run single down the left field line. Soft contact and walks. It's 2-0 Marlins in the first. 1-2. Hicks rolls one down the first base line. That is a fair ball. Pete Alonso takes it to the bag himself, but Conine comes in to score, and Lopez pushes to third base. So a productive RBI out for Liam Hicks. And it's 6-3 Mets in the 6th. 1-2. Hicks rolls one down the first base line. That is a fair ball. Pete Alonso takes it to the bag himself, but Conine comes in to score, and Lopez pushes to third base. So a productive RBI out for Liam Hicks. And it's 6-3 Mets in the 6th. On set at the belt. It is 1-1. Hill lifts that one out to center field and deep. Tyrone Taylor back at the track, at the wall, and it's gone. Derek Hill with a 2-run opposite field blast, and all of a sudden, it's a 1-run game. 6-5 New York in the 6th. That's Hill's first homer of the year. He is on the way. And that one is lifted out to left center field. Conine got a good break. Conine drifting back. So is Hill. Derek Hill dives.
Lock. That's 954-500-LOCK or visit LoctiteImpact.com.
For us to be able to continue to pay tribute to his legacy each day, throughout our sport is a really great thing that Major League Baseball has done, and feel, incredibly honored and proud to be able to, put on 42 tonight.
All right, so that was Marlins manager Clayton McCullough earlier this afternoon. It's Jackie Robinson Day 2025. All players and staff will have 42 on their jersey. Steven Strom, Jeff Nelson, and Jack McMullen with you. 6:40 first pitch. And Nelly, I want to start here with Jackie Robinson Day. You have some more on what Jackie had to endure back in his playing days through another baseball legend.
Right. My first year with the Yankees when I got traded over from the Mariners, it was the last year for the Yankee Fan Fest at Javits Center. And when I came in the wintertime, I think it was around January, I rode in a limousine to the Javits Center with Don Zimmer, who played a long time and also out in the Dodger organization, and Enos Slaughter, a lot of old-time players. And they were telling me, and I don't know how the conversation started about Jackie Robinson, but just about what players would do, because they didn't, they just wanted to sharpen the spikes. They would go in and sharpen their spikes, make sure they would take them out.
Crazy.
It was just the stories that you hear and what Jackie Robinson went through. It was just incredible. And he was the perfect guy to go and be able to handle that. I don't think anybody else would have been able to handle what he did and have the success and strive in that moment than Jackie Robinson. I never got to meet him, but I got to meet his wife and also his daughter. So a lot of great appreciation and respect for and I can't even imagine what he went through, but what he endured in his career and his life. And I hear he was a tremendous person.
Jack, I don't know how you're going to top that, but there is a different feel when it is Jackie Robinson Day and you look out and see 42 on these guys back at the jerseys.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's such a special day, and for that to be universally recognized around Major League Baseball is truly a sight to behold. And obviously, I don't have these firsthand experiences like Nelly does, just chatting with people about who Jackie was. But everything that you read growing up and everything that you watch and everything you ingest when it comes to, Major League Baseball and the impact he made on Major League Baseball, but on society in the macro is just outstanding.
Yep, absolutely. No easy way to transition from that, but we did have an interesting roster move that we saw this afternoon. Jonah Bride DFA'd, started 4 for 40 to start 2025, hit 276 last year. Jesus Sanchez activated, will be in the starting lineup, batting second and playing center. Jack, just what do you make from this move?
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Obviously, Jonah was so greatly respected in that clubhouse, and that's a guy that I know the coaching staff was committed to see, him get going. But unfortunately, you run out of time at a certain point, and Sanchez coming back, that creates a little bit of, I would say, outfield traffic when it comes to getting guys at bats. And, the reality of the situation is Jonah Bride is not necessarily defensively versatile. He's not well-versed in a lot of different areas. We saw him struggle a bit at third base and then play a lot of first base. Well, first base is kind of covered right now with Mervis and, with Wagaman reaching 5 times on Sunday. And then you look at third base, well, Connor Norby's back in a few days here. So it's either you're giving that guy at bats in the DH spot, but does that make any sense to give a guy that's 4 for 40 at bats in the DH spot? I don't know. It's just a weird roster puzzle situation and, unfortunate, but obviously wishing Jonah all the best.
No, you want to expand on that? What was your reaction when you saw it?
I mean, I wasn't really surprised. I thought maybe, I guess, with Dane Myers, I guess he's healthy. I guess he's feeling good after running into the wall out in Citi Field with the Mets. It was a logical move only because, just like Jack said, you have Connor Norby coming up. He's going to take the third base spot.
Yep.
There was really no room for Jonah Bride and struggling at the plate. And the roster spots, I'm sure, there wasn't a whole lot of roster movement. They may need that. The Marlins may have needed another slot. And the thing that guys do now, or teams do, it's DFA.
Yep.
They're DFA-ing everyone. I don't know if he'll be claimed. I would say probably not. And then he goes back down the minor leagues and he regains his swing. And then who knows what's going to happen. And that's the thing. When old days when you got DFA'd, you were done. You're probably not seeing the big leagues again. But now when you get DFA'd, you go down, you get your stuff together, and then you wind up getting recalled and added to the roster. That's how it works now.
Otto Lopez was DFA'd twice, by the way, before landing with the Marlins. And now you've got a guy well shy of 30 that looks like an everyday big leaguer.
So, again, Jonah Bride, DFA'd, hit 276 in 71 games last year, but really struggled to start 25, 4 for 40. Last one for you. For people that have not watched this team, and I'll start with Nelly and then Jack, you can take it from there. How have the Marlins gotten to a game over 500, Nelly?
I think they're a very scrappy bunch as far as the offense. I think they've put together some really good at-bats. With 2 outs, they're not a team that's going to lay down right now. A lot of teams will lay down when there's 2 outs and they'll say, okay, let's get them the next inning.
Yep.
They've done a great job at that. And their bullpen has been really good. And I think that's kept them in a lot of games and it's given their offense enough opportunities to come back. Now, when you've scored almost half of your runs with 2 outs, that's not sustainable. So that's probably something that, hey, everybody would love to fix and score a little bit earlier instead of worrying about the 2-out rallies. But so far, they're a pain in the butt for the other teams.
What you got, Jack?
No, I mean, I'm with you, and Nelly laid it out perfectly on the offensive side. I will kind of piggyback on the pitching and defense side. they have a plan of attack, and they're executing that plan of attack. They want their starting pitchers to get them through 5 or 6 of a quasi-quality start. Obviously, you can't get a quality start if you go fewer than 6 innings, but, say they get 6 innings from Max Meyer. He can hand it off to the leverage bullpen pieces. The wins that I think best exemplify what the Marlins are trying to do is when a guy like Connor Gillespie goes 5 innings or 4 2/3, and then they hand it off to Ronnie Enriquez for 2 innings, and then they hand it off to Lake Bacher for an inning, and then they go to Calvin Fauché for an inning. It's using these relievers that are stretched out and can handle this. There are a lot of really good irons in that fire in the Marlins bullpen, and this is, just another tremendous opportunity for the Marlins to get a scrappy win like that.
Excellent points. And what I do want to follow up on the bullpen, this is going to be a big series for the Marlins because the Diamondbacks have scored 38 runs in the 7th inning or later. That is the most in the majors, so the Marlins bullpen have to come up big in this series if they do want to win one here this week. Good stuff, Nelly and Jack. We'll hear them in about 12 minutes. Let's break Expo question, and we'll get Steve's guarantee to victory right here on the Marlins Radio Network.
10 for his last 28. That's 357. And he's 2 for 3 today. Stowers rips one. That is a fair ball down the first base line. Paulie in to score. X right behind him. Kyle Stowers going line hunting tonight. After a triple last inning, he's got a 2-run double. And it's 4-0 Marlins in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, Parker was cruising through the first 4 innings.
To second base. And the 0-1 pitch from Parker. That one ripped over the jumping glove of Bell. That's down the right field line for a base hit. It rolls to the wall. Cruz going to pick it up off the wall. Stowers chugging for third, and there will be no throw. Kyle Stowers with a stand-up leadoff triple. And the homer day in Atlanta on Saturday. 0-2 pitch. That one hit well. Out to right field. Cole is back, and it's gone. It's not a road thing anymore. Welcome home, Matt Mervis. His 4th homer of the year, and the Marlins up 1-0 in the bottom of the 2nd. Next pitch. Conine launches out to right field. Cole on his horse, back into the alleyway, and that one hops the wall. 2 runs come in to score. Conine swaps places with Wagaman, and he's got a 2-run double. It's 6-3 Marlins in the 5th. 2-2 pitch. Stowers hits that one well, out to left center field. Jacob Young working back, track, wall. That's off the base of the wall. Stowers pulls into second base. X comes in to score, and another run for the Marlins with 2 men out. It's an RBI double for Kyle. 7-4 Fish in the 6th.
And all the swagger.
And he does it in grand fashion.
Relive the day's biggest plays all in one lightning fast hour.
Oh my goodness. What a show. You better believe it.
Quick Pitch. Late nights and early mornings only on MLB Network.
All right, as we put a bow on the show, 10 minutes from first pitch. Marlins on deck, Steven Strom, Jack McMullen, and Jeff Nelson. Listen to your Marlins on the go. Download the iHeartRadio app and make Fox Sports 940 your top preset to listen to every Marlins game this season. Some housekeeping again. The big news this afternoon, Jonah Bride DFA'd after going 4 for 40 to start the year. Jesus Sanchez activated. And by the way, Nelly had mentioned Jonah Bride could clear waivers and end up back in Jacksonville. That's what happened with Xavier Curry. He was outrighted to Jacksonville this afternoon. All right, let's get to our X-Poll question of today. This is Jackie Robinson Day. Everyone is wearing 42. Super, super important day, not just for baseball, but in the entire world. Our question tonight, who is the last Marlin to wear 42? Who was the last Marlin to wear 42? That's a good one. It's a good one today. I know Ricardo back in the studio probably knows, a great Marlins fan. Okay, it's time for Steve's guarantee.
Batter up. Batter up.
Let's play some ball.
First pitch is moments away. Time now for Steve's guarantees.
All right, so I only have one today, and it's probably simple. You're probably going to roll your eyes and say, really, Steve, that's what you got? That's your guarantee today? But, I can't lie to you people. I mean, I try to keep myself accountable. I try to keep it 100, and this is what I have for you. Merrill Kelly, we talked about it. I'm going to open up the book right now, but he's got, I think, a 12.9% walk rate thus far. He's only made a couple of starts. Yes, he does. 12.9% walk rate. The league average is 8.5. The Marlins have done a great job at the plate with plate discipline, forcing 3-2 counts, just tiring out wearing out these starting pitchers. I like him to draw 4+ walks against Merrill Kelly here tonight. Folks, I hope you got the itch for first pitch, because when we come back, Jack McMullen paints a picture. Jeff Nelson, he's ready to rock. Starting lineups in first pitch is right around the corner. Thanks for tuning in to the Marlins On Deck pregame show. I'm Steven Strom. Let's flip the M together, Miami. Marlins baseball is next. This is the Marlins Radio Network.